What's up, guys? It's been a while since I made a video. I've been trying to stay away from putting opinions and news videos on my channel because I'm using this channel for beauty, but I do have another channel that I'm gonna be posting, my advices and stuff, and it's gonna be like a forum discussion type of channel. So I'm gonna be posting the video on this side for you guys, and then I'm gonna post it on the other side as well. And once I can figure out how to link both the channels so that you guys can see that video from the other side, or figure out how to put my username on there, then I will have you guys following the other channel. But I've been trying to stay away from opinioning about the R. Kelly situation. A lot of people, my coworkers and a lot of other people, have been bringing it up, and I just want to say that that's a situation that we deal with on a daily basis. A lot of young girls get with older men when they're younger. They date guys that are like in their 20s when they're 15. And a lot of people stay quiet about it. A lot of them have children even with these people and with these men. And we tend to, keep it, we brush it under the rug, or, as a community, we go, oh, that girl's a slut. Look, she's 15. She's pregnant. We don't look at it as how the media is looking at it now, okay? Is it wrong for a guy that's 27 to be with a 15-year-old? Of course. But this is something that is very occurring in poor neighborhoods, okay? And when I say poor, I mean in economically challenged neighborhoods, this is very common to see an older guy with a younger girl. And now that R. Kelly has, because a lot of people have been saying, oh, R. Kelly been sleeping with young girls, and it didn't seem to me like people gave a fuck. But when people start to say that he was enslaving them and making them do, what seemed to me like things that you would do to someone that was, let's say, you're submissive, like, so in BDSM, which is something you guys will have to obviously Google up so you know what the hell I'm talking about. There is terms like slave, submissive, things like that. And so I believe that R. Kelly thinks he's, a master. He thinks that these girls are, his slaves. He's like training them to be his slaves. And so that's why he's making them call him daddy, and they have to speak only when spoken to, etc., etc. Ask for permission for food, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get too much into the terminologies of that, but if you guys look it up, it really seems like he's doing that with them. But what I find just utterly devastating is that this has been going on for such a long time, and now it's that someone wants to do something about it. And I just find it like really sad that there's so many people that are involved that are covering this shit up, and there's people that are involved that were covering it up. So there were so many people aiding R. Kelly in the things that he was doing, and he pretty much ended up getting away with a lot of shit because he was allowed to get away with it, because not only do we find it acceptable, and when I say we find it acceptable, I don't mean every single person finds it acceptable, but a lot of times younger girls tend to date older boys and no one says anything about it. And when I say older boys, I mean like you'll normally see a 15-year-old with a 21-year-old, and people think that it's okay. And it's, how do I explain this? It's so hard for me to explain something because I seen it growing up everywhere. Like in New York City, that's what a lot of the young girls did. They grew up being the girlfriend of someone that was a lot older than them. And it's so like it's like so acceptable right now to a lot of like young girls to like be with a guy that is like older, and a lot of them don't see it as a problem, and it comes from, I want to say, the parents, you know what I'm saying? Because as me being, even me being myself a young girl, if I was raised in an area or by parents that would not mind, like for example, let's say that I turn around being 15 and I get a boyfriend that's like in his 20s or whatever, right? And my mom doesn't say nothing, then I'm gonna think it's okay to do it. And a lot of these young girls, because they live in a poverty-stricken neighborhood, they turn around and they hook up with these guys that, you know, just want to use them and take advantage of them, because it's real good to be with a virgin. I'm not gonna lie. She doesn't know anything. She has no experience, so she doesn't know if you're bad in bed. You know what I'm saying? And she can be molded to your liking. And a lot of young girls don't realize that older guys like young girls because they don't know shit. They can't defend themselves like an older woman can. You know, they don't understand a lot. Like, older guys, they take advantage of younger girls because they know they can manipulate you. They play mind games with you left and right. And the young girls think, oh, they love me, but they don't love you. They just trying to rattle your fucking brain. They fucking with you. So they training you to accept the shit that they do. Because when they do bad shit, you turn around and you're like, oh, you know, you may find it bad the first time, but when he sits there and he fakes the crying tears and goes, oh, but I love you, blah, blah. You know, he's mentally, he's brain fucking you. That's what you call it, okay? And a lot of these young ass girls, they get brain fucked by these older guys. And they fall into it, and they fall into these patterns. They fall into these like patterns, and where the next guy they get with, if they ever leave that loser that they got with the first time, the next guy they get with is just as fucked up as the other one, you know? And it's an ongoing situation. They're in their older years of life, dating the wrong motherfuckers, dating people that are mentally abusive, sometimes even physically abusive, and most importantly, emotionally abusive, which is where, unfortunately, a lot of girls, they deal with this stuff. And this is where R. Kelly is right now with the girls, okay? He's not only emotionally abusive to them, he's physically, you know what I'm saying? And this, I feel that is what the problem is the poverty, you know, the way that a lot of parents raise their children as well, you know. I feel like that plays a key role in why he got away with so much of what he got away with. So, like, a lot of people have been opinionating, you know, because people want to distance themselves now from this situation. And my thing is that this person has focused so much on making music, making good music, that people don't give a fuck that he's done that. People are looking at the girls as they're the bad ones, as if they are the ones that created this situation and injected themselves in this situation, not understanding that someone that's older can fuck with your head so much that you become vulnerable. See, so what a lot of people don't understand is that young girls are vulnerable. They don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? If you put a girl that's 13 in a room with a man or a woman that is a lot older, significantly older than them, they will come out of there with some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can brainwash someone. And I kid you not, you guys can try this on anyone. I can have, personally, myself, a conversation with a 13-year-old person in a room and convince them of what I'm thinking in less than 5 minutes. And you know why? Because young girls, they look up to older people. They suck up whatever the fuck you tell them. So R. Kelly saying here, telling them he loves them, they thinking he does. Even if he slaps them 2 seconds later, they're thinking in their head, he does love me because he said he did. And look, he's giving me gifts. And this is the biggest problem, because these women, when they come into adulthood, they turn around and they think that behavior is acceptable. They believe it. And the ones to blame for this shit is society. I'm sorry to have to say the truth. It is really society. And then, you know, it's like, for me, it's the parents, then society. And the reason why I say the parents is because the parents are in control of their children's lives when their children are young. They can relatively control who the fuck you go around, how you hang, who you date, and how much time you have out. If you notice that your child is acting like, inappropriate and shit, you gotta take measures to make sure that your daughter doesn't end up with a belly. You gotta take measures to make sure your daughter doesn't end up with the wrong person. And the way to do it is by, unfortunately, being a stern parent. Okay? When you're sitting here, listen, everyone in their life has been through shit. And when you're sitting here trusting just any random person because you feel some kind of way because you want your daughter to be famous, or you want this, or you feel that, you're the one that's setting that shit up to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't trust a stranger from the street, why would you trust someone just because they sing? And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about the one girl that and not just one, but a lot of girls that he was left alone with in the studio unattended with because people wanted him to make them famous. And my thing is if you don't trust someone from the street, why would you trust him? He is from the street. Even if he sings, even if you need his help, at the end of the night, you gotta remember that is still a fucking stranger. And that man, just because he sings and you need his help, doesn't mean that that man is an angel. You don't know him at the end of the night. You don't know what that person's ulterior motive is. You don't know if that person's a serial killer. You don't know nothing about that person. And if you don't know nothing about that person, you wouldn't trust a stranger from the street. You should not trust somebody just because you need their help. And unfortunately, in the music industry, people trust people that they should not be trusting just because they need their help. That is the fucking truth. I'm telling you right now. But I want to shine some light on a couple of things. Me being a mother, as I am, if I felt that was happening with my child, there would be so many different things that I would have done that I noticed that the parents didn't do. And you don't have control over someone that's 18 and over. Because someone that's 18 and over, they do what the fuck they want. They can do what they want. You know what I'm saying? Legally. Like, they can get the fuck up, leave, and bye. You know what I mean? But, like, when your child is underage, there's a lot of shit you can do. If you got a wild child, you can get a PINS petition. You can do a lot of things. You can homeschool your child so your child stops acting like, a little hoochie mama. There's a lot of things that you can do because there are promiscuous teenagers out here. And you taking precautionary measures to make sure that these things are under a control. And I'm not saying enslave your child in the home. I'm saying, just monitor your child a little better and apply certain punishments to your child that you wouldn't normally apply. And the reason why is because, when you start to release your control, your children think that they can do certain shit. Like, for example, I realized, like, one of my coworkers was saying to me that one of the girls that he was with, like, she used to, like, run away or some crazy nonsense, and she used to, like, go hang out at his house. And see, that's the thing that I'm saying. Like, if the parents would have had control over her, she wouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to know where your kids is at, like, at all times. I don't care if you're at work. You got to check in on your kids. You got to do so much. And there's so much that could have been avoided and done differently that was not done differently. But I'm not in that situation to opinionate too much on it. I'm just telling y'all what I would have did if I was the mother. I also would have went to the news media. I would call every fucking channel in the world. And you know what? We have something very important right now that we didn't have, a long time ago, and that's social media, okay? And you can bring a lot of attention to certain things by publishing it, by speaking about it, by opening blogs and making videos. And the parents could have been making a lot of noise years ago. Years ago, when he first got tried for what he got tried for, he got away with it. Listen, if that would have been me, I'd have been at his house, and they would have had to call the cops on me to get me the fuck out of that property, because the amount of ruckus I would have created would have been So fucked, he would have had to call 911 to get me out of there, you know? And the whole thing is, if your child's underage and you know your child's in there, then guess what? He's not gonna call the cops. You wanna know why he's not gonna call the cops? Because he knows if he calls the cops, you're gonna turn around in your big old mouth and you're gonna tell him that that motherfucker's holding your child hostage. And see, this is the thing, like, that could have been done. It's like a lot of precautionary measures could have been taken that weren't taken. And for all those people that were involved in aiding him and creating the atmosphere for girls to get molested, raped, whatever, these people need to be prosecuted. These people need to, listen, there needs to be some type of punishment to the people that facilitated this, because these women are now forever damaged. They're not going to want a normal relationship. They're not even going to know how to even respect themselves after this, okay? Because their self-esteem is going to be so crushed and so low that they're not going to really give a shit. They're not going to want a regular guy. They're going to want a guy that treats them like shit. And that's what people don't understand. It's very, very important as a parent to be so involved in your child, to not only show your child that that shit is not acceptable, but also to not be that person. Because sometimes during parenting, we as parents, we don't take the time to tell our kids right from wrong. We don't take the time to say a guy's not supposed to treat you this way. You know what I'm saying? Or to keep enough contact with our daughters so that when we see that they're dating someone, you know, I know a lot of women that they know their daughters are dating, but they don't even know the boyfriend. And it's like, if your daughter got hacked into pieces, you wouldn't even know who the fuck hacked your daughter into pieces. Because you've never even met the boyfriend. And that's just really scary to me. But I'm going to let you guys go. Drop your comments down below. Drop your opinions down below. I personally feel that finally something is being done, but it's like too late. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many other women that have been like damaged by this situation. And it's really sad. It really is like literally sad that he got away with it for such a long time. It's really like, in my opinion, too late. These women are damaged. And yeah, it's gonna stop him from fucking with, you know, maybe not. I don't even know if it will, because he's so used to getting away with it and stuff. It might not stop him from fucking seeking out new girls. But the ones that are there and the ones that were there are fucked now. They're mentally fucked. And they're going to continue to be mentally fucked, because that's something that you cannot erase. When you've been with someone for a long time and you're mentally abused like that, your mind is not going to react the same way. Doesn't matter how much therapy you get, your mind will not be the same. I'll catch you lovely people later. And I hope you guys have a blessed day. Ciao.